Welcome or welcome back. I'm Caren, and thanks for joining me for this slow flow yoga practice for grounding. So we're going to use a couple blocks today. These are optional but suggested, and we'll begin right away on our backs. As you come to lie down on your back, extend your legs long and together and your arms overhead. Rest into your limbs here without stretching. Close the eyes and greet your practice with a great big breath in and breath out, maybe through the mouth. Now, as you inhale, begin to flex the feet, reach through the fingertips. We'll move into Apanasana flow. Exhale, pull your right knee in, your arms down around the knee. Hug in as the breath leaves the body. Inhale, stretch the leg long and the arms overhead. Take your time. Exhale, left knee hugs in toward the body, arms encircle around the shin or the knee. We'll do this a couple times following the pace of your breath. And as you fill up and empty, soften your jaw, soften the navel. Feel the hardness of the floor beneath you. And notice the space all around you, the air on your skin as you flow back and forth. Starting to release whatever came before this moment. And entering into the now with your breath in your body. As you hug your left knee in one last time, inhale, reach the arms long, the legs long, and then exhale, pull both of the knees in. Take the right knee on top of the left knee. Let the feet dangle, and you can take your hands somewhere where it feels effortless to hold. Maybe that's the knees, perhaps that's the shins. Guide the legs inward until you feel a gentle sensation on the outer right hip. And then drop your belly through the breath, your whole spine reaching down toward the floor, lengthening through the crown of your head. Begin to release the pull of your legs, send them forward a bit, anchor your arms to the floor, and simply switch out the cross of your legs, left knee on top. And then bring your hands to assist, somewhere where you can hug in, where you can relax the low back. You start to feel that glimmer of sensation in the outer left buttock and left hip. There might be a temptation here to really strive in your practice to feel stretch and deep sensations, but I encourage you to enter the edges of those sensations, doing just enough for right now, letting the body relax into it. Now release through the hands. Unwind through the legs and plant the feet flat on the floor. And here's where you have an option to use your block or not. So taking one block on the flattest side, the lowest position, push the feet into the floor and take the block underneath your sacrum into a supported bridge position. You can also practice this with no blocks. The arms come to a V by your sides. Let's send the right leg up, lengthen it toward the ceiling, relax into the ankle, and then just move the ankle in circles. 3 times in one direction, and then switch it out 3 in the other. Just feeling into the joint and relaxing into the shoulders. Set the foot down, and let's repeat on the left side. Left leg goes long. 3 circles, both directions. It's okay if the ankles make sounds, that's welcome. And set the foot back down. Now you have an option here to take both of the feet up, as if you were doing legs up the wall, or a supported shoulder stand here if you have the block underneath you. If the legs feel shaky or uneasy, you can always bend the knees. Allow the weight to be steady in your upper back, your neck is loose, jaw is loose. And take some fuller breaths here, just bringing the breath to the edge of the ribs in all directions, and then exhaling it out. Notice any sensation that you're feeling in the feet, in the legs. Maybe a lightness, a tingling. And on this next exhale, drop your feet down to the floor. Lift up through the pelvis, slide the block off to the side. Set the pelvis back down, and then make sure there's room on either side of you so you can drop both of your knees over to the right, shifting your pelvis to the left, drop the knees to the right, coming into a twist or a yin yoga pose variation of cat pulling its tail. So the right leg that's underneath you is going to scoot back to the middle of the mat. Left knee seeks the floor, doesn't have to touch. Maybe the left hand comes to hold onto the right foot. Take a breath in and a breath out, just letting the gaze be wherever it feels most comfortable for the neck. If you're feeling any sort of tension in your low back, encourage yourself to release the hold of the foot and just find a staggered stance with the feet. If you have the hold of your foot, release it now. Slide your knees back together. Roll onto your back. Shift your hips over to the right and drop your knees to the left. Now the left knee sneaks toward the middle of the mat, right knee seeks forward onto the floor, and reaching one arm down, maybe holding onto foot. Allow yourself to relax into your feet and continue a softness in your breath. Release your foot. Knees glide together. Roll onto your back one more time. And this time we'll roll all the way over onto the abdomen. And as you slide here onto your abdomen, bring your hands underneath your forehead, stacking the palms, the hands with the forehead down. Feel into the belly and notice if you can access that space of breath where you breathe in and it feels like there's pressure on the floor. The breath is pushing against the floor. And as you breathe out, a sense of relaxing into the whole body downward toward the earth. Bring your hands now by your sides and push back into child's pose. Knees go wide, toes toward one another, sink back toward your heels. Extend the arms forward. Let the forehead touch, making contact with the floor. For a brief moment, relax into the jaw and feel your breath easing into your whole back. Now pull your right hand in and slide that hand through, palm face down, reaching it to the side. You can again relax your head down, maybe take your left hand, create a little bit of a fist, and rest your forehead there. We also have the block here, so you're welcome to take the block underneath your forehead. Softening the right shoulder down to the floor just enough to greet that edge, the edge of sensation in the outer right arm. On your inhale, pull the arm back in, send both of the arms forward, and relax all effort, forehead touches down. Now repeat the same on the other side. Left hand slides in and across the body, palm face down. Supporting your head with your right hand, because we have the block, you can use the support of the block. Ease the left shoulder down to the floor, just enough to open to any sensation you're noticing without deep feelings of tension. Letting yourself relax that tension with the breath. Inhale, begin to lift your body, send both of your arms forward one more time into child's pose. And as you exhale, begin to move and lift your upper body into hero. I recommend using a block to sit on, again, setting it in the lowest, flattest height. You might even stack two, one on top of the other, as the heels come alongside the block and the knees are forward. We'll rest in a mudra of meditation here with the left hand on the bottom, the right hand cups on top, the palms are facing up, and the thumbs touch together. As we enter into a breath practice before we continue with the rest of our asana. So I invite you to allow there to be a sense of fullness in your breath without struggle or strain. It's not about getting the biggest breath. It's about really allowing your body to fill up and release its capacity. So we'll start with Anuloma Krama and enter into then Viloma Krama. Anuloma, taking small sips of air in until you feel that you're full, and then breathing all the way out. So follow along, it looks like this. Empty your air. Inhale small sips through the nose. And exhale through the nose fully. Taking as many sips of air in, continue at your own pace as feels like fullness for you. So it doesn't need to be a set amount, just continue to fill up and breathe out through the nose fully. You might choose to close your eyes here and soften your arms even more. It's as if you're taking small steps up a mountain, climbing the trail to the top, and then descending smoothly and all at once. Now, after your next exhale, relax the breath. Let the breath return to a natural pace, in and out. And we'll do the opposite. So we'll smoothly inhale and then take small steps with the exhale out the nose. So when you're ready, empty your air. Inhale all at once. Now little steps down. Till there's no more air. Smooth breath in to catch the ride up to the top of the mountain. And tiny steps down. Take your time and notice how this differs from the first pranayama. If this feels more effortless or more full of effort, just notice your reaction as you continue the practice. We'll take one more round here. then relax the hands from your mudra. Let's transition into a table position, coming out of Virasana. Grab your block and set, if you're using the blocks, one to either side of your mat, and arrive in table. Into cow and cat, tuck the toes, take a breath in as you descend the belly, glide the shoulder blades together, gazing forward. And then exhale, arch through the whole spine, relaxing the crown, tilting the tailbone under. Do this 2 more times. A slow, intentional pace. Enjoying the breath in this moment. And after you round back into cat on your 3rd time, coming back into a neutral position and grabbing your blocks if you like for this next sequence. We'll step the left leg forward in between the hands. Dropping into a crescent moon lunge, invite your blocks to be at whatever height you need to support your upper body in feeling loose, the legs in feeling stable. Bring the blocks backward toward your hips or your hands backward as you lift the heart and lift the arms into crescent moon lunge. We'll twist toward the front thigh, bringing the right hand to the left knee and the left arm behind. Roll the shoulder blades together and ring around the upper torso without twisting through the pelvis too much. Now inhale, bring the arms all the way back up overhead. And exhale, seek the blocks or the floor. Find them in one anchor point, unmoving, as you straighten through the front leg into Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits, and bend back into the lunge. Do this 2 more times, flowing with your breath, allowing the heart to bend down as the leg straightens, and keeping your weight into the center of your mat, equal between the blocks. As you come back into the lunge, now set the blocks off to the side. Walk your hands to the long side of your mat, spinning through your right knee into gate pose. Keep going with your right hand to the back of your mat, plant through the palm, and swing your left arm up overhead. A long, lean line from the toes toward the fingers. Relax into the head. On your inhale, lift up into gate pose, hands on hips. Drop your left hip down and we'll move toward the straightened leg. Inhale, flow up through the right arm, and exhale, side bend. Doing just enough to feel comfortable in your body. On an inhale, lift back up to center. Take the straightened left leg and pull it in, turning those toes to face out toward the short side of your mat, as if setting up for an extended side angle. We'll slide the left hand either onto the thigh or down closer to the knee, and again, swing the right arm overhead, opening and twisting through the body, and just taking this wherever it feels most comfortable, whether it's forearm on the thigh or a little bit lower. Relax into the jaw and invite the breath fully into your right rib cage. One more breath in. And as you breathe out, lower your hands toward this front bent leg and step the left knee back in line to the right. Grab your blocks. Right leg goes forward into lunge. Tuck the left toes under. Find ourselves back in crescent moon lunge. Beginning to lift the chest. Maybe walk the blocks back more. Get so heavy in your right heel that your hands can begin to lift away from the blocks as they rise up overhead. Crescent moon lunge. Open the twist toward the thigh. Left hand to the knee, right arm behind. And as you're inviting the smooth breath in and out of these postures, loosen through the forehead, the corners of the eyes, the jaw, all of these places where tension can creep in. Soften all of that. Let's inhale, come back up into Crescent Moon Lunge. And exhale, hands to blocks, finding one anchor point where they can exist, or hands to floor. Flowing and straightening into the front leg as you inhale. Ardha Hanumanasana. Exhale back into lunge. 2 more times at your own pace, bowing the head down if you like, as the leg straightens, leading the heart forward as it bends. And then walking your hands to the long side of your mat, setting the blocks aside. Keep going with your left hand to the floor and open up through the right arm overhead. Take a couple breaths in and out here, just to expand, to lengthen from the crown to your toes. And then as you're ready, lift up with the hands to your hips. Drop the hip down. This right hip absorbs into the body, so you can slide this right arm down the right leg and inhale up and over through the left arm, side bend. On your next breath in, lift all the way up and begin to slide this leg into position with the toes pointing forward, the right knee tracking over the center of the foot, and allowing yourself to lower a bit with the forearm to a kneeling extended side angle. The arm is alongside the knee to open the hip gently, finding that edge of motion and stillness. And then exhale and bring your hands down. Plant the hands, step this right leg back. Arriving back in table, let's move into 3 cows and cats. Inhale, dropping the belly, looking up. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Feeling the tilt of the pelvis especially here, and that sensation of coming back to the center after moving one side at a time. And after you round your spine one more time, bring the knees closer in together and have a seat. Sending your legs forward, we will step the right knee over top of the left and bring the left leg back and in, or it can remain long and straight in front of you if that feels better for your legs. Into Gomukhasana with just the legs. So you're welcome to stay right here with hands connected to your feet, hands connected to the floor or on top of your knees. Invitation to close your eyes, to soften the jaw, soften the hips and the legs, and let the breath return to a slower, more effortless pace after the effort of our practice. Lean back with your hands, lifting your heart so that you can unwind your legs and reverse it. Other leg on top. Again, the bottom leg can be straight out in front of you if that works better for your hips and your knees. And then settle right back in. Maybe closing the eyes, finding a connection somewhere with your hands. Slowing down the breath. Opening the eyes if they're closed. Take the hands behind you, unwind the legs, and come onto your back. As you arrive on your back for Shavasana, let the legs go wide, the arms wide, space in the armpits, space in the hips. Close the eyes here. And we will allow those two breath works that we did before, the Anuloma and Viloma Krama, to come together 3 times. So when you're ready, empty your air. Take little sips in through the nose until you're full. And little sips out. Continue twice more. Take as many sips in and out as you need to feel full without struggle or strain. And once you reach the exhale, relax the breath. Let the breath come in and out at an effortless pace. Feel the ground beneath you, rising up to meet you. And notice that there's nothing you need to do to accept this support. The earth is always here. Begin to awaken from stillness with gentle movements. Maybe stretching your arms overhead. Perhaps allowing the breath to fully enter the body in a deeper way and fully release. And as you're ready, guiding the knees inward, choosing a side to roll onto, resting on that side. Press up to a seat. Let the gaze be low or eyes closed as you take any seat that's comfortable for you and eventually gather your palms together into Anjali Mudra at your heart, bowing the chin in, taking a moment to offer gratitude to this practice, to all the realized beings who have brought the knowledge of yoga to us. And release the palms, open the eyes. I want to thank you for taking this time to ground and center in this practice with me. I sincerely hope it was helpful for you. And you can find more grounding practices on my YouTube channel and my website, CarenBaginski.com. I'll leave some links below in the description for you. Looking forward to practicing with you again sometime soon.